Today, our Prime Minister says that we are no longer the red tape for youngsters, we are the red carpet for youngsters. So, there's a very big difference today, and that's why I use this day to encourage youngsters to think beyond jobs, to think of entrepreneurship, to think of their own next big idea, and to give them a message that not just the government but the entire ecosystem has been built to help them.
I was thinking of like planning to have some businesses, and
Mm-hmm.
in small scale, I have shortly started like
Yeah.
exchange of books,
Nice.
On money basis. Initially, we were just exchanging our books, but then on money basis. Then in my school itself, there is eco garden where we grow vegetables, and the vegetables are sold to our teachers. And the students can also take it. So so my school and my family members, they have always promoted me to go further. So yeah, in the future, I surely want, if I could, with the help of everyone, to.
First of all, when you talk about starting business around books, just to remind you, Jeff Bezos started Amazon about selling books. What you see as Amazon today, or what you see as Flipkart today, it started with the business of selling books. So e-commerce has made it so much easier for a youngster to start a business. Whether you're making spices, growing spices in your father's agricultural garden in Kerala, or you have a collection of books, or you have a group of friends who have books and you want to exchange it or sell it, you can be an eBay for books. There are many, many ideas. But you have an interesting background because you're doing biology and you're doing math and physics. There is a whole new area, and when I say, if you read the article that I've written today, I talk about the next wave of startups. The next wave of startups are going to be in deep tech, where physics and biology and math will intersect. For example, in synthetic biology, which is in biogenetics, which has a lot of information technology and technology also in it, as well as there is biology. 10 years ago, if you had an idea, that was enough. 10 or 15 years ago. Okay. Now what it is, now for example, Tekru is starting gaming. There are hundreds and thousands of people doing gaming. So you will have to do something that is very unique. And to create something very unique, you need to be very well informed, very well researched about that domain. In the last 5 years, more than 1 lakh of startups have been created in India. More than 111 unicorns have been created. But even then, that is only a tip of the iceberg. Your generation or your batch is going to come at this and find a huge set of opportunities, much more than they were 5 years ago. And all as a result of government policies, we are creating a framework.
Sir, I am a senior PhD student at IIT Delhi, and like you said, so and I also work as analog design engineer at Third iTech.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm among the very few women that we have in our company, so I'm one of them.
And that is doing analog IC design.
Yes.
That
yes.
is not a simple thing to do at all.
Yes, sir. And like you said 5 minutes back, that 5-10 years back, nobody was even talking about it. We were very short of jobs. Like after graduating, what is going to happen? We were not even sure. But with this national startups and so many startups coming up, and the government promoting these startups, so people like us who we were like seriously towards the back end of it. So now we have come forward, and it's really an opportunity for all of us to be here, and for people like me who was always interested in research. So getting the best of both the worlds, which is academia and the startup, the industry.
Perfect.
So I really enjoy what I do, because it is just not the research I'm doing and we are doing it somewhere, and nobody is getting to know about it.
You can actually see it in action.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what I do, I can actually see it, that I can see that, okay, I'm contributing something towards my country. So like we make chips for the armed forces and all. So we see them, we see the images coming out, and we see, okay, this is what we were targeting. These were the applications that we are targeting, and we are able to fulfill them through our innovation. So that's really satisfying for all of us.
Absolutely.
There.
These are all chips now, for example, designed in India, made by Indian youngsters and startups. Look, this, the 28 micron, 28 nanometer chip, designed by young Indians.
Yes.
So you are absolutely right, Tushar, that in the past you had to choose between research and or academia, or if you wanted to see something that you were doing, you had to go to the US
Yes,
or somewhere. I did the same thing. So now it is not necessary. Today there are chip designers in India building chips, building systems.
So we are more towards we like games filled with proper, well ethical design,
Nice.
and then we aim to make games like which have a meaning through its storytelling, have
Very
good
good.
moral values, right? So that is one of our differentiating factors that defines us from other games in the market, I would say. But this is also a problem for us because it's very hard for us to approach VCs and because all the money is in those kinds of games, right?
Gaming is a very, very good area for you to be in. Okay? And online gaming, especially in the Indian context, as you correctly said, there are so many Indian stories that can be gamified. Now, I travel to Nagaland a lot, I travel to the Northeast a lot. There are so many stories, local stories, cultural heritage stories that can be gamified. So, therefore, we are going to build a very, very large gaming ecosystem in the coming years. So, be very confident about that, be focused on that.
Saw the pictures of our respected soldiers who were awarded Paramveer Chakra. So what does it mean to you? Why
No, look, from day one, I'm a, my father was in the Air Force. And I've grown up all around, all through my childhood along people with uniform and in cantonments. And I've studied in Kendra Vidyalayas all around the world, all around the country rather. So in my 12 years of school, 12 years of schooling, I've been to 10 schools. So for all of you, you can always say who are your school childhood friends, and you will give me a list of 10 names. I can't say anything because मेरा childhood 6 महीने ये स्कूल में और 8 महीने दूसरे स्कूल में. But I've always been inspired by them. Of course, my father, of course. I've always been inspired by their service, their nation first spirit. I took some 30 startups and went to UK very soon after I became minister. And when I reached there, the High Commissioner said 7 ministers of the UK government want to meet me. So I was very impressed. I have become such a popular man that UK government ministers want to meet me. Then I realized that they didn't want to meet me, they wanted to meet the startups. So 2 days we met, all the ministers came, they met the startups, each one was a unicorn, each doing very well. The last day we had breakfast with Prime Minister Boris Johnson in his house. And he met these young 20, 25 young startups, all Indians, very confident about themselves. Then he comes to me, holds my hand and he says, Rajeev, what is the magic that Narendra Modi is doing to these youngsters of your country? So there's no magic. He is basically empowering them, enabling them to succeed. So it is also that our youngsters are now becoming the ambassadors of this new India.
If there's one advice you could give, like to the general use in general, just on a who wants to be on an entrepreneurial journey, what would that be?
No, look, I'll give you. It's not one. It is one advice, but it's some 2-3 parts to it. Number one, be very clear and determined from day one. Don't do anything casual. Don't do anything कि अरे नाम के वास्ते करेंगे. I'm bored today, so let me start something. Don't do that. Go. There's an English phrase. Go all in. So be very determined. Be very focused. Second is know the area that you want to enter. Learn about it and be absolutely skilled about it. Third is stay the course. There is no instant gratification. There is no quick wins. If it comes good, you're lucky. But if not, you must be determined enough. You must have the temperament to stay the course through downs, ups,